Before the sun of this day ever rose, there were nine knights who came to Jerusalem, not for conquest, but for protection, to guard the pilgrims who crossed deserts and mountains to reach the holy city. They took no wives, sought no riches, and asked only for a place to pray. The king granted them quarters beside the Temple of Solomon, and so they became known as the poor fellow soldiers of Christ and of the Temple of Solomon. In the silence of their vows, they began something that would outlast their lifetimes, an order built on faith, obedience, and courage. What began with 9 would one day become thousands. They would build fortresses, tend hospitals, guard roads, and hold the line where faith met the edge of the known world. And so their day begins. You wake before sunrise. The air is cool and still, carrying the faint smell of wax and stone. Somewhere nearby, bells toll once, twice, then fade into silence. Around you, the brothers rise from their straw mattress without a word. The rule of the temple forbids idle talk before morning prayers. You pull on a plain wool tunic, white for purity, marked with a red cross over your heart. Outside your narrow cell, candlelight glows faintly along the hall. Sandaled feet scrape softly over stone as the brothers gather in the chapel. The walls inside are bare, the windows small, yet the room feels vast. You kneel shoulder to shoulder with the others as the preceptor begins the morning prayers. A familiar verse fills the air. Not unto us, O Lord, not unto us, but to your name give glory. The words linger, then fade. Every morning begins the same way. Humility first, purpose second. When prayers end, you step into the courtyard. First light spills across the walls, catching on bits of armor hanging from their hooks. Above, doves coo in the rafters. For a moment, peace feels close enough to touch. Your day is not your own. It belongs to the order. Each brother has his work, and every hour is set by rule. You begin with the horses. The stables are long and low, filled with the scent of hay and leather. Your horse greets you with a soft nicker. A knight's mount is more than a possession. It is a partner and sometimes a lifeline. You brush its coat until it gleams in the morning light. Check their hooves, tighten straps. Nearby squires clean armor in wooden tubs, rubbing oil into links of mail to keep the rust away. The rhythm of the work is steady and quiet. Metal, wood, breath, and prayer. When chores are done, the knights gather in the training yard. The ground is hard beneath your feet, the air beginning to warm. You lift your sword and move through the familiar forms: high guard, low guard, the cut, the thrust. Each motion is slow and deliberate, every strike meant to serve both body and spirit. Older knights guide the younger ones, adjusting their grip or stance. No one boasts. Pride is forbidden here. Skill is nothing without obedience. As the sun rises higher, sweat gathers beneath your mantle. Then the bell rings again. Time for the next prayer, another turning of the day's circle. The dining hall is simple and wide, the air scented faintly with smoke and herbs. Long wooden tables stretch beneath dark beams. The brothers eat in silence. Talking during meals is not allowed unless reading scripture or given orders. At the front table, one of the brothers reads from the book of Psalms, while the other eats lentils, bread, and a thin stew of vegetables and grain. Meat is rare except on feast days. Wine is allowed, but always mixed with water, never enough to dull the mind. You lift your wooden bowl and take a sip. The reader's voice flows calmly through the room, steady and familiar. You listen as much as you eat, and the rhythm of words settles into the rhythm of your breathing. When the meal ends, everyone bows for a short prayer of thanks. The bowls are stacked, benches pushed in, floors swept. Every motion has purpose. Every act is done with humility. Outside, the sunlight is bright. You walk beneath the arches of the cloister, feeling cool stone under your feet. The walls seem to hold their own memories, prayers, battles, vows whispered in candlelight. The afternoon belongs to service. Some brothers work in the infirmary, caring for the sick, and the pilgrims at the gate. Others repair weapons, mend robes, or copy sacred texts. You are assigned to the outer gate. The road from the port runs straight to the fortress, and travelers pass often. You stand watch with another brother. The hours move slowly, marked by footsteps and distant voices. Pilgrims approach, dusty, tired, some limping, some leading mules. You check their tokens, offer water, and give them directions. The order was founded for this: to protect those who travel in faith. Guarding the gate may seem simple, but it is as holy a task as any battle. You think about how many brothers have stood here, watching this same road, believing the same thing. The faith can make the world a little safer, and that service, quietly given, can be its own kind of prayer. When the sun begins to drop, you are relieved from your post. Dust clings to your mantle, but your heart feels calm. The work is done. The sun lowers behind the walls, turning the courtyard gold. You return to the chapel for evening prayers. Candles flickering along the altar, brighter than the fading light outside. The sound of chanting fills the air, slow and deep, like the waves on a shore. You kneel once more among the brothers. The words are familiar, yet tonight they feel heavier. You think of those who never returned from the long marches east. You think of how easily courage and fear can live side by side in a man's heart. And still, you pray. This is what keeps the order whole. After prayers, you have a short hour of rest. Some brothers walk quietly in the garden, small patches of green enclosed by walls. Others polish armor, mend saddles, or write letters that may never reach home. You sit near the well and watch the light fade. A young squire joins you. Nervous, still learning the ways of the order, he asks in a whisper if the stories about the Templar are true, about secret rituals and hidden treasures. You smile and shake your head. Our treasure, you tell him softly, is obedience and faith. You remember another night, long ago, in a camp near Gaza. A brother carried a psalm written on parchment. Before battle, when fear gripped the men, he would read it aloud. His voice steady, though his hands trembled. Afterward, he told you that faith is not the absence of fear, only the will to stand beside it. The squire listens in silence, then nods, a little less afraid. The sky deepens from gold to blue to night. Darkness settles like a cloak over the fortress. Torches flicker in the corridors, casting long shadows on stone. You gather with the brothers for the last prayer of the day. When the words end, a hush fills the chapel. Back in the dormitory, you lay down your sword within reach, as the rule commands. You remove your belt and mantle, then rest on your straw mattress. The air is cool again. The steady sound of breathing fills the room. As you drift towards sleep, your thoughts wander to the Holy Land, to the pilgrims you've guarded, to the battles you've fought under the burning suns. You think of Jerusalem, where the order began nearly a century ago, when 9 knights vowed to protect the road between the city and the sea. From that promise grew an order that stretched across kingdoms, from England to the deserts of Syria. You wonder if humility can survive power, or purity can survive wealth. Perhaps that is why the Templars lived so simply, to guard their hearts against the temptations of success. Your eyes close. For a time, the centuries fade away. In your dream, you're back in Jerusalem. The city glows beneath the white sun. The smells of dust and myrrh, the call of merchants drift through the narrow streets. You walk past pilgrims wrapped in linen, soldiers in mail, monks in brown robes whispering as they go. Every stone seems to hum with the weight of centuries. You turn towards the coast, and the vision shifts. It is Ascalon, the year 1153. The sea roars by the city walls, the air heavy with heat and salt. You stand by with your brothers before the gate, white mantles rippling in the wind. Your sword feels heavy, but your heart is light. This is the work you were called to do. The banners of Jerusalem rise beside the red crosses of the temple. You move as one body, one will. The crash of the siege towers shake the earth. You hear the chant of the brothers, not war cries, but prayers. When the walls fall, sunlight floods the breach, and the men move forward. For a heartbeat, faith feels stronger than fear. The dream shifts again. You stand now among dry hills beneath a cruel sun. Hattin, 1187. The sky is white, the air burning. You and your brothers ride beneath banners faded by dust. The Saracen host surrounds you, thousands of spears glittering like water in the light. The wind carries the smell of smoke. The grass around you burns. The men are thirsty, so thirsty that even prayer becomes hard. When the arrow falls, you lift your shield and whisper a final psalm. The sound of iron, of hooves, of the world breaking apart fills your ears. You see the true cross carried high in chaos, and then gone. So many fall that day, and the field becomes a sea of red and dust. And yet, as you kneel amid the ruin, you feel no despair. Only a strange stillness, as if God himself has drawn the curtain of silence over the earth. The smoke fades, you breathe again, and now the dream carries you forward. You are at Acre, 1291. The walls tremble, the air thick with ash, and see. The enemy floods the outer gates, wave upon wave, but the brothers do not yield. You fight not for victory, but for time, to save the lives of those who can still flee. When the final bell tolls, you see the horizon lined with ships, sails filled with wind. Behind you, the city burns. You and the last of your brothers stand at the inner wall, swords drawn but voices calm. When the stones give way, you go down together, not defeated, only finished. Silence follows. The waves wash over the shore. The sound of the world returns. The wind through palm leaves, the sigh of the desert. You feel peace again. The dream softens and centuries dissolve. You're back in your stone cell, where candlelight flickers on the wall and the air is cool. Outside bells begin to toll for morning prayer, and the dream fades into the rhythm of another day. You wake again, though you do not know how much time has passed. The air feels different. The walls seem older. The world beyond the halls is changing. The Templars have become more than soldiers. They are bankers, builders, protectors of trade and pilgrims. Their white mantles can be seen from the ports of Marseille to the plains of Syria. But with power comes envy, and envy brings accusation. You think of the long years since Acre fell, of brothers scattered across the lands of Europe, of new kings rising who do not remember what it cost to hold the Holy Land. The order has grown powerful, its lands vast, its wealth great. The kings borrow money from the temple, popes bless its name, but power always stirs suspicion. You see, as if through a veil, the dawn of another day. Friday, October 13th, 1307. Across France, soldiers burst through the Templars' door. Knights are dragged from their beds, accused of heresy, of greed, of secrets the world was eager to believe. They are chained, questioned, and broken by men who were once swore to protect them. You see the Grand Master Jacques de Molay standing before the flames on an island in the River Seine. The fire crackles, the sky burns orange. He prays aloud, forgiving his enemies, asking only that the truth be known. As the smoke rises, the order passes into legend, and yet, even in death, its light does not go out. Other brothers take up its work, the Hospitallers, the guardians of pilgrims, the keepers of faith, and in every age, others rise to serve something greater than themselves, walking paths paved by vows long ago. The order fades from sight, but its spirit endures. Centuries pass, the halls crumble, arches open to the sky, red crosses fade into stone. Travelers wander through the ruins and wonder who you were, what you believed, and what you sought. They find no treasure, only echoes of discipline and devotion. The heart of the order was never its riches or secrets. It was the courage to serve with humility, to fight without hatred, to live in obedience to something greater than oneself. Each vow was a kind of focus. Poverty to free the heart, chastity to keep the soul clear, obedience to steady the will. Together they shaped a brotherhood that tried, however imperfectly, to join faith and action. And those same virtues live on whatever people serve with courage and selflessness. In anyone who works for others, who faces fear with devotion, who treats service as a kind of prayer. The first hint of dawn touches the horizon again. The bells will soon call the brothers to prayer, and another day will begin, exactly as the last ended, in silence, in purpose, and in faith. You breathe deeply and let the picture fade. The stone walls, the red crosses, the quiet rhythm of prayer. The sound of the modern world is far away now. You rest in the calm shadow of history. You just walk through the day in the life of the Knights Templar, men of faith and discipline, bound by vows that echo across centuries. This has been Sleeping with History. Until our next journey, rest well and let the past keep watch while you sleep.